Hello, thespians of Delight. You've made it to our final lesson in our drama preseason series. Today, we'll be discussing etiquette and proper behavior in a rehearsal setting. I wanted to end this series on this topic because treating your fellow actors and directors with respect is going to make drama a much more fun and safe place. So here are a few ways to show respect to others in a rehearsal setting. Stay in character. If you break character during a scene, it makes the scene a lot harder to practice, and it makes it harder for the directors to help you develop your character because you're not playing as your character. Because honestly, drama is just a lot more fun when you spend the whole rehearsal being in character. Encourage each other. If your friend had an awesome facial expression during that death scene, or you were so shocked that your other friend could cry on command, then tell them after practice or between scenes. Encouragement is really just going to make people feel better and remind them to be confident in their acting. On a similar note, make suggestions. If your friend did a fantastic job during that one scene, but you think that it could be improved if they did this one thing slightly different, then tell them. But make sure you make it more of like a suggestion and less of a command. So try saying something like this. Hey, I think you did a great job acting sad and your facial expressions were just amazing. But when I was sitting in the back row, I was having a bit of trouble seeing it. Maybe you could arch your back a bit or make your sad acting a bit more dramatic so that people in the back row could see it. When you put it that way, it sounds a lot more encouraging and a lot more, hey, for the betterment of your acting, I think this might help. More like you're lending a helping hand than commanding them to do something. But two things you have to bear in mind when giving advice are that they can choose whether or not they want to take that advice, and you can't get upset if they decide they want to do it the way they were already doing it. And two, if you're going to give advice, you have to be willing to take advice. Now I want to touch on two major, really important topics in this video, because these topics can make or break rehearsals. Show up early. 5 minutes is enough, just so that you can pop in and say hi to your friends and chat and have fun before rehearsal starts, and the directors will know that everyone is there so they can start on time. Stay quiet when you're not on stage. Backstage is basically a complete no-talking zone. Your backstage whispering can be heard from the audience. And if your scene isn't being rehearsed and you're sitting out in the audience, then try to avoid chatting and laughing because those things distract the other actors that are on stage and make it hard for them to practice. Those things also distract the directors who are trying to pay attention to these actors on stage and help them develop their characters. If you're out in the audience and your scene is not being practiced, but you want to practice your lines and you want to do it out loud, then feel free to grab a friend and go to the very back of the auditorium and whisper very quietly. Because yes, practicing lines is very important and it's good to do during practice, but you need to strike that middle ground between practicing your lines and not being a distraction to the people on stage. Now, I've seen rehearsals where people were late and talked backstage all the time. And I can tell you right now, the director spent half the rehearsal telling people to be quiet and wondering why their actors weren't there on time. These kinds of rehearsals just aren't productive. They get nothing done and they're kind of a waste of time. Now, the directors do a whole lot on their end to make sure each rehearsal is as productive as possible. But the actors do have to kind of take up their end on making sure they're on time and being quiet and being courteous. Now, on the other end, I've also seen rehearsals where everyone in the cast showed up early and where people just didn't talk backstage, or if they were in the audience, talked very quietly so no one could hear them. Those rehearsals were the smoothest rehearsals I've ever been a part of. We got the most done, and they were the most fun to be a part of. Now, it's true, I had to sacrifice talking to my friends while I was backstage, or I had to sacrifice those few last minutes I could fit in before sliding into drama at the last minute. But when I made those sacrifices, and when everyone else made those sacrifices, it turned out great because we all got to enjoy drama for what it is, a time to practice acting and just have fun. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this whole series and that this series will help you in your future drama endeavors. Ben and I have had a blast making all these videos, and I can't wait to get back into the world of rehearsals and performances next chance we get. God bless you all as we head back to school. Break a leg, Delot.